kind of most eager to see out about your guys on Saturday?
Just most eager to see them just cut it loose. I mean, we've had a really good camp, and guys been flying around with our effort and physicality. That's what we preach, and just the execution, and then those guys just flying around and executing and playing.
You feel like the physicality in particular is where you guys were hoping it would be at this point in the year?
Yeah, it is. It's where it needs to be. And then along with the effort and, that's our calling card, how physical we play. So if we're not doing that, then us coaches, we need to coach it better and do the right, get it right. But our players are doing a tremendous job with the physicality and the effort and things that we're seeing in practice.
Who would you say embodies physicality most on that side of the ball for you?
There's a number of guys, Melvin Jordan is always playing physical. I'm impressed by, just how he just goes and relentlessly works through everything. Skyler, he's just been a machine. He's always positive. I love his positive attitude and then just how he practices, the way he practices like a pro. And then, up front, those guys have been pretty physical up front as well. So it's hard to name one, but those first two stand out right now. And then obviously the D-line, it's every snap is physical for them.
Is there a segment or position group would you say has improved the most in camp, or has it just kind of been steady across the board?
It's been steady across the board as far as our improvement, and that's exactly what we need. We always talk about constantly improving. So it's just been steady across the board because there's individual things that we all needed to get better at ever since we started spring ball and all the way into camp, and we've done those things.
How would you describe Andre Jordan's camp and what gave him a leg up in that race for him?
Yeah, he's been really consistent, just Andre has, and he's a quiet young man, and what he's done is he just went out there and just worked and got better. Coach Chance has done a great job with him and just improving his technique, his eye discipline. And he's a skinny little dude, but he's strong and wiry. So I just think he's improved on the consistency of his technique and things that kind of needed at corner.
Iowa State obviously relies heavily on throws the ball a lot. Is this an opportunity for your D-line to show what it can do in terms of applying pressure?
Yeah, with the amount of times that the ball is going to be in the air, we're going to have to get after the quarterback, whether that's a 3-man rush, 4-man rush, or whenever we choose to bring 5 or 6. It's a great opportunity for us up front to get to the quarterback, and then the ball's going to be in the air, so we got to take the ball out of the air as DBs too.
Where does Kobe kind of fit into that cornerback rotation at this point? Is it just a case of him needing to get a little more healthy and get some more reps?
Yeah, Kobe just rotating in right now, so I expect him to play in the game. Coach Chance will handle those substitutions there, but he was out for a little bit and then getting his rhythm, timing, and all that stuff underneath him, and I think he's done a good job. But going back to Andre and then J-Rob, those guys have won the job, so it's going to be rotating in, and we want to get all the guys on the field.
Mason White and Exodus Ayers were obviously two other guys who were really competing for that outside corner job. How do they kind of take that as not being in that starter, and how have you just kind of seen them compete?
Hey, that's just how we start. I look at that's just the starting point, and if you got to play well in order to stay in there, and it could, I've seen it in my past where guys who were not the starters played more than the starters in some cases. So, and that's where we're starting at week 1. You have to go out there and execute on Saturday. And then when we play the second game, it could be different. But I think those guys are just, resilient and just keep working and put their head down. That's what we preach. And the other thing is just like we got a good enough room with a lot of depth that you have to stay on top of your game. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see all those guys playing.
You've got some older players that are stepping into bigger roles. Does that help to have some, guys that have been around a while but maybe haven't played a lot? You feel good about their level of experience going into this opener?
Yeah, it's good to have experience always. I know a lot of people look at that, but I just think that having those guys, older players with experience on the field when you're playing whatever game in any part of the year, that's always great to have that.
You talked about bringing the pressure earlier. Do you envision being aggressive over being sound or both? Like, how do you balance, when to blitz and bring the pressure? How do you kind of approach that?
You got to keep the offense off balance, So aggressive is our mentality, you know, we're an attack style defense, so we're going to be aggressive. And then you got to be strategic upon when you're going to bring it and when you're going to not. So that'll be for teams to find out during those situations.
Will you be in the booth or sideline this week?
I'm going to be up in the booth. Yeah, I'll be up in the booth all season. I like that calm environment so I could see it and then make my calls and make adjustments. That's where I operate best.
Gundy says he likes having kind of his nice, neat, organized pens up there. What's your kind of area look like?
I have my call sheet, and then I'll have this and probably a pencil, and then we're rolling after that. So,
Looking at Idaho State, just what do they bring, and how would you describe the challenge?
yeah, you know, well, they got a number of quarterbacks who could play, you know, and then, you know, just looking at their depth, you know, just you really don't know who's going to play it. So at the end of the day, really, it's about us, you know, in the way that we've been practicing, you know, with our effort, our physicality, and again, just the execution, you know. So that's how it's going to be all season long. It was really about how we prepare, us understanding our job, how we fit within the scheme, and understanding how the offense is trying to attack us. If we just do that, we'll be fine. It really doesn't matter what opponent is out there because, you know, it's going to change week to week, but what's not going to change week to week is how we prepare our players and what we ask them to do.
When you're prepping for a team that has 4 quarterbacks that apparently could potentially, you know, trot out there on the field, how do you properly divvy up time studying all those guys and, you know, addressing them with the team?
Yeah, it's still only one ball, and we got to hunt that one ball. You know, there may be a quarterback, you know, like they shown last year that has a little bit more of escapability and elusiveness, and we're going to be aware of that. But at the same time, if we're sound in what we do, and you know your job within whatever the defense is called, you have to do that job and know where your help is, and just play the call.
Gundy said he hates game days, just the build up to he just wants to get in there and play.
Mm-hmm.
He's so anxious. What does the morning of game day look like for you?
Oh, I'm kind of a relaxed kind of guy. It does take long to get to this first one, but then after the first game, it's just like, boom, you wake up and it's Thanksgiving, you know? So, you know, it's, you know, you spend all this time in spring and all this time in fall camp preparing, and then, you know, and then now we're here in game week. I mean, I just listen to music, go over my call sheet. I kind of take it easy. I'm not anxious.
Yeah.
You know, I'm excited for our guys to play. I'm excited to go see them make plays and then them do the things I've been waiting to do ever since last season.
What's on the pregame playlist?
So I got 8,000 songs, and I just let it roll. I might hit Pandora and then just let it roll. I'm big into like the old 90s R&B and hip hop. So, you know, yeah, that's it.
All right. Thanks, George.
All right. I appreciate